Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at some of history's greatest love stories.
Oh, cool.
We've got a ton of sources here. We've got articles about famous couples throughout history. We've got a great blog post on love lessons that we can learn from famous couples, and even a website dedicated to history and genealogy.
Oh, wow.
But we're not just going to be listing names and dates.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be uncovering the stories behind these couples.
Yeah.
Looking for insights, surprising facts, and maybe even some relationship advice
Right.
from beyond the grave.
I love it.
So get ready for a fascinating journey through the annals of love and history.
Yeah, you know what I find so fascinating about these stories is that they remind us that history is not just about battles and treaties and, the things we always think about. It's really driven by human passions. And love, as we'll see, has played a surprisingly powerful role in shaping the world.
Yeah, and speaking of powerful love stories,
Mm-hmm.
let's start with a couple that needs no introduction. Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Their love affair wasn't just a tabloid headline. This was a geopolitical earthquake.
It really was.
What's often overlooked is how their romance actually played into the power dynamics
Yeah,
of the time.
absolutely.
So Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, was incredibly shrewd.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw in Mark Antony, a Roman general, a chance to secure her kingdom against the rising power of Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And their meeting in 41 BC was carefully orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine Cleopatra sailing up the Nile
Oh,
in a barge,
gorge.
decked out in gold and silver,
Uh-huh.
dressed as the goddess Aphrodite?
Oh, wow.
Talk about making an entrance.
I know, talk about knowing your audience, right?
Absolutely.
Antony, already a powerful figure in Rome, was completely smitten. But their affair wasn't just a private matter, it enraged the Roman Senate, who saw Cleopatra as a threat to Roman dominance.
Right.
Antony even went so far as to declare Cleopatra queen of kings
Wow.
and their children heirs to vast territories.
Talk about a power move.
I know, it really was.
So this wasn't just a love triangle. This was a clash of empires. Antony's actions alienated him from Rome and ultimately led to the Battle of Actium in 31 BC,
Oh, yeah.
a result of a crushing defeat for Antony and Cleopatra. At the hands of Octavian, the future Emperor Augustus, they chose suicide over surrender. A tragic end to a love that shook the ancient world.
Such a tragic ending.
It really makes you wonder if things might have played out differently had they
Yeah.
kept their romance under wraps.
I know, right? It's like, what if they had just kept it a secret?
Talk about star-crossed lovers.
They really were.
Speaking of love that defied expectations,
Mm-hmm.
let's journey to 17th century India
Mm.
and the Mughal dynasty.
Okay.
This is where the story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal unfolds. A love so profound that it inspired one of the world's most iconic architectural marvels.
I love this story.
Shah Jahan the emperor was deeply devoted to his wife, Mumtaz Mahal. She wasn't just his queen, she was his trusted advisor and confidant. Their relationship was a true partnership, a rarity in those times.
Awesome.
And when Mumtaz tragically died in childbirth, Shah Jahan's grief was immeasurable.
That's where the Taj Mahal comes in, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's not just a beautiful building.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the depths of his love and sorrow.
Yeah, but there's more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
What I find fascinating is the symbolism woven into the Taj Mahal's architecture.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
tell me about that.
So the Taj Mahal is a masterpiece of Mughal art and architecture, a style that blends Persian, Islamic, and Indian influences.
Wow.
Every detail, from the calligraphy on the walls to the intricate floral designs, is imbued with meaning. White marble, for example, symbolizes purity and spirituality. The minarets, reaching towards the heavens, represent the emperor's yearning to be reunited with his beloved in paradise.
Wow.
It's really a love poem etched in stone.
That's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
mind-blowing to think that it took over 20 years and thousands of artisans to build this monument to love.
I know, can you imagine?
Imagine the dedication,
Okay.
the artistry, the sheer manpower poured into this project.
It's incredible.
But love doesn't always have to be a grand spectacle, does it?
No, not at all.
Sometimes it's about a quiet, enduring partnership. And that brings us to Queen Victoria and Prince Albert.
Okay.
Their love story is fascinating because it had such a huge impact on the British monarchy and even world history.
It really did.
So Victoria, who became queen at just 18, was initially reluctant to marry. But when she met her cousin Prince Albert, it was love at first sight.
Oh.
Their marriage in 1840 wasn't just a political arrangement. It was a genuine love match. And Albert, despite holding no official power, became Victoria's most trusted advisor.
He really was her rock.
They were a true power couple influencing everything,
Hmm.
from politics and social reform to the arts and sciences. They had 9 children.
9 children, wow.
They really did modernize the British monarchy,
Right.
making it more relatable to the public.
Right.
But tragedy struck when Albert died unexpectedly, the young age of 42.
Oh, that's so sad.
Victoria's grief was so profound that she went into deep mourning wearing black for the rest of her life.
I know it's really a testament to their love, but her mourning wasn't just personal, you know.
Right.
It reflected Victorian societal norms surrounding death and grief. It also had political implications. Victoria's withdrawal from public life shifted the power dynamic within the monarchy.
Interesting.
And, you know, this period of intense mourning had a lasting impact on Victoria's reign and on the image of the monarchy itself. It's a reminder that even the most personal expressions of love can have ripple effects on the world stage.
Now let's talk about a couple whose love story is as passionate as it is complicated. Napoleon and Josephine.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a whirlwind romance. They met in 1795 during the chaos of the French Revolution.
A very romantic setting.
Josephine was older, a widow, a socialite. Not exactly what you'd expect for a rising military star like Napoleon,
You're right.
but he was completely smitten.
He was head over heels.
Their relationship was a roller coaster from the start.
It sounds like it.
Napoleon's military ambitions kept him away for long stretches, and rumors of infidelity swirled around both of them.
Oh, wow.
Yet their love letters reveal a deep emotional connection. Napoleon would write to Josephine from battlefields, pouring out his heart, longing for her return.
Those letters are legendary.
Yeah, they really are.
I can't imagine a modern general texting sweet nothings from the front
I
lines.
know, right? But as Napoleon's power grew,
Mm-hmm.
so did the pressure to produce an heir.
Mm-hmm.
And Josephine, despite having children from a previous marriage, couldn't give him one.
That must have been so difficult.
And this, coupled with their ongoing infidelities and the political pressure surrounding Napoleon's dynasty, eventually led to their divorce in 1810.
Oh, wow.
It was a heartbreak for both of them.
Yeah.
And Napoleon continued to care for Josephine until her death.
He did.
It's a classic example of love and ambition colliding, a reminder that even the strongest bonds can be tested by the pressures of power and circumstance.
From the grandeur of empires, let's shift gears to a love story that unfolded amidst unimaginable darkness. Oscar and Emily Schindler.
Okay.
Their relationship took shape during the Holocaust, and their actions saved over 1,200 Jewish lives. Oscar Schindler was a German businessman who initially saw the war as an opportunity to profit. He ran an enamelware factory in Poland, employing Jewish workers because they were cheap labor. But as he witnessed the horrors of the Nazi regime, something changed within him. And he was aided in this transformation by his wife, Emily, who was deeply compassionate towards their Jewish workers.
It's a story of incredible moral complexity.
It is.
Oscar wasn't a saint from the start, but he saw the humanity of the people he was exploiting, and he chose to act.
And together, the Schindlers devised a daring plan. Oscar used his wealth and connections to bribe Nazi officials and create a list of workers he claimed were essential to the war effort. This Schindler's List, along with Emily's tireless work to provide food and medicine, saved countless lives.
That's amazing.
Their story shows that love can inspire extraordinary acts of courage, even in the face of unspeakable evil.
And speaking of love-inspiring change, let's talk about Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. They weren't just partners in love. They were partners in the fight for civil rights in America. It's a testament to how love can fuel a movement and shape history.
Absolutely.
So their love story is deeply intertwined
Yeah.
with the struggle for racial equality. They met in Boston, drawn together by their shared passion for social justice and their deep faith. Their marriage, in 1953, marked the beginning of a partnership that would change the course of American history.
And it's important to remember that their love story unfolded against a backdrop of intense racial segregation and violence.
You're right.
The civil rights movement was dangerous and often deadly, yet their love for each other and their unwavering belief in their cause gave them strength. Coretta wasn't just a supportive wife. She was an active participant in the movement. She organized protests, gave speeches, and raised their 4 children, while Martin was away leading demonstrations or imprisoned for his beliefs.
Wow.
After Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination in 1968, Coretta continued his legacy, founding the King Center and working tirelessly to promote his vision of a just and equitable society.
It's amazing how their love story just goes beyond just them.
It really
It
does.
becomes something much bigger than themselves. So we've journeyed from ancient Egypt to 20th century America, encountering love stories that span centuries and continents. It's remarkable to see how love has shaped the world, hasn't it?
It's truly incredible.
And it's amazing to think that these were real people with real emotions just like us
Yay.
who found love amid such extraordinary circumstances. But before we delve into the love lessons we can learn from these couples, I'm curious. Of all these stories, whose journey do you find most surprising or thought-provoking?
Oh, that's a great question. It's tough to choose just one because they're all so compelling in their own way. But I think the Schindler story really stands out to me. To find love and compassion in the heart of the Holocaust, to risk everything to save others, it speaks to a depth of humanity that's both inspiring and challenging.
Yeah,
It forces us to confront the complexities of human nature, the potential for both good and evil that exists within us all.
I agree. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times,
Mm.
love can be a force for good.
Mm.
It can inspire acts of incredible courage and selflessness.
Absolutely.
And that makes me think about the broader question of what we can learn from all these couples.
Mm-hmm.
What are the love lessons that transcend time and circumstance?
Well, one lesson that really jumps out is the importance of resilience.
Hmm.
These couples faced incredible challenges: war, political turmoil, societal pressures, personal tragedies,
Hmm.
and yet their love endured.
Resilience is such a powerful concept. It makes me think about how love can be a source of strength,
Hmm.
a way to weather the storms of life, to face adversity together and come out stronger on the other side.
Absolutely. And building on that, I think another important lesson is the power of communication. Think about those passionate love letters between Napoleon and Josephine. They were separated for months at a time, yet they maintained a deep emotional connection through their words.
It makes you wonder, in our age of instant communication, do we take the time to truly express our feelings to our loved ones?
Right.
Do we write those heartfelt letters, those little notes that say, I'm thinking of you, or I appreciate you?
Yeah, it's a good question to ask ourselves. And beyond words, it's about active listening, about creating a space where our partners feel heard and understood. It's about making that effort to connect on a deeper level, even when life gets busy.
And speaking of connection, the story of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert really highlights the importance of partnership, of finding someone who shares your values and goals.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just a loving couple, they were a team. They'd collaborated on everything, from political reforms to raising their family.
Their story reminds us that love can be more than just a romantic connection. It can be a powerful force for positive change in the world. It's about finding someone who supports your dreams, challenges you to grow, and inspires you to be your best self.
It makes me think about all the different ways love can manifest in a relationship. It can be a source of comfort and stability,
Yeah.
a spark of passion and adventure, a shared purpose that drives you to make a difference.
And sometimes, as the Taj Mahal so beautifully demonstrates, love can inspire acts of extraordinary creativity and devotion. It can move us to create something beautiful and lasting, something that transcends time and speaks to the depth of human emotion.
The Taj Mahal is a powerful reminder that love can be a driving force in art, in architecture, in all forms of creative expression.
Right.
It's about channeling that emotion, that inspiration, into something that will touch the hearts of others.
And while we may not all build Taj Mahals, we can all find ways to express our love in creative and meaningful ways. Whether it's writing a poem, composing a song, cooking a special meal, or simply taking the time to create a shared memory, it's about putting that love into action.
It's about finding those small gestures, those everyday acts of love that make a relationship special. And speaking of special, the story of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King really underscores the power of love to fuel a movement, to fight for something bigger than yourselves. They faced incredible opposition, yet their love for each other and their shared commitment to justice sustained them through the darkest of times.
Their story is a testament to the transformative power of love. It shows us that love can inspire courage, resilience, and a willingness to stand up for what's right, even in the face of danger.
It's a powerful reminder that love can be a catalyst for social change, a force that can move mountains, a source of hope and inspiration for generations to come.
And as we reflect on these love lessons, I think it's important to remember that there's no single right way to love. Every relationship is unique, and the lessons we learn will be as diverse as the couples themselves.
I completely agree. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to love. It's about finding what works for you and your partner,
Right.
about being open to learning and growing together, and about cherishing the journey, even with its ups and downs.
Right.
But before we wrap up this deep dive into history's greatest love stories, I want to shift gears for a moment and ask you a personal question. Throughout our conversation, have any of these stories resonated with you on a personal level?
Hmm.
Is there a particular couple or a specific love lesson that has sparked a new thought or a different perspective?
There are so many moments that have resonated with me, but one thing that keeps coming back to mind is the idea that love doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. We tend to romanticize love to strive for that fairy tale ending. But the truth is, love is messy, it's complicated, and it often challenges us in ways we never expected.
I love that you brought that up. It's so easy to get caught up in the idealized version of love that we see in movies and books. But real love, the kind that endures, is often forged in the crucible of challenges and imperfections.
Think about Napoleon and Josephine. Their relationship was full of passion and drama, infidelity and heartbreak. It wasn't a fairy tale by any means, but even in its complexities, their love for each other was undeniable, and I think that's a valuable lesson. Love isn't about achieving some idealized state of perfection. It's about embracing the messiness, the challenges, and the imperfections, and finding beauty in the journey itself.
That's such a powerful reminder. It's about accepting that love isn't always easy, that it requires effort, compromise, and a willingness to grow and evolve alongside your partner. And sometimes it's about letting go of expectations and simply appreciating the unique and often unpredictable nature of love itself.
And even in those relationships that don't last forever, there are valuable lessons to be learned, growth to be experienced, and love to be cherished. It's all part of the rich tapestry of human experience.
It makes you realize that every love story, even the ones that end in heartbreak, contributes to who we are and how we love in the future. It's about taking those experiences, those lessons learned, and carrying them forward into our next chapter.
And as we move into that next chapter, I think it's important to remember that love is a gift, a precious and fragile thing that deserves to be nurtured and protected. It's about making a conscious choice day by day to choose love, to express gratitude, to show up for our loved ones, and to create a space where love can flourish.
It's about celebrating those little moments of connection, those acts of kindness, those shared experiences that weave the fabric of a relationship. It's about finding joy in the everyday and appreciating the extraordinary gift of love in all its forms.
And speaking of extraordinary gifts, the story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal reminds us that love can inspire acts of incredible grandeur, of lasting beauty, of creations that stand the test of time.
The Taj Mahal is a breathtaking example of that. It's a testament to the power of love to transcend grief and loss, to create something that will inspire awe and wonder for generations to come.
It makes you wonder, what kind of legacy will we leave behind? What will our love stories inspire in others?
That's a profound question, and it leads us back to the core of what we've been exploring today, the enduring power of love to shape history, to inspire creativity, to fuel movements, and to leave an indelible mark on the world.
Love, in all its complexities and contradictions, is a force to be reckoned with. And as we've seen throughout history, it has the power to change the course of nations, to inspire acts of incredible courage and compassion, and to create legacies that will endure long after we're gone.
And now, as we prepare to wrap up our deep dive into these extraordinary love stories, I want to leave you with a final thought.
Hmm.
As you reflect on the couples we've discussed today, as you consider the love lessons they've shared, ask yourself this: what will your love story be? Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through history's greatest love stories. We hope you've gained some new insights, some fresh perspectives, and perhaps even a little inspiration for your own love story.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep loving.